The 7 News I-Team investigation revealed it is not just about manipulating crime numbers in Washington, D.C. Internal affairs investigators say some crimes may not have been fully investigated by MPD because of how they were classified.
Our I-Team reporter Scott Taylor obtained the 554-page report dealing with the manipulation of crime numbers by officers. He joins us live now with a breakdown of what investigators say may have happened to hundreds of cases.
Investigators say low-level offenses do not trigger the same level of law enforcement response as serious felonies. Makes sense. So when crimes were downgraded, it's likely no detective was assigned and forensic teams may not have been called, all of which means critical evidence could have been lost. Internal affairs investigators say in a report from inside the D.C. Police Department, one thing is clear. How a crime is classified determines what happens next. When serious crimes are downgraded, critical parts of the investigation may never even be initiated. Detectives may not be called. Crime scene technicians may not respond. Critical evidence may never be collected because those resources are typically only triggered for serious offenses. And in the pages of the MPD's own report on the D.C. crime data scandal, hundreds and hundreds of cases were downgraded, maybe even more. For example, some shootings were reclassified as injured person to hospital, robberies were recorded as thefts, and assaults with a dangerous weapon were reduced to lesser offenses, including simple assault. Those changes kept incidents out of the violent crime reports, and in some cases, might have severely limited resources devoted to investigating them. That means victims may not have received proper police service, and some criminals may have received little or no punishment for serious offenses. The report also looked at why MPD supervisors might have participated in falsifying crime data. The report says crime reduction became highly competitive, with captains judged on lowering crime, and in some cases, those who did, along with other accomplishments, were later promoted. But investigators say they found no evidence that manipulating crime data alone led directly to any of those promotions. I want everybody to keep in mind the Department of Justice and the U.S. Attorney's Office did their own investigation before MPD's probe was wrapped up. The feds have not filed any charges connected to those cases. Now, 13 ranking MPD officers remain on administrative leave, and they could eventually lose their jobs. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens there. Okay, Scott, D.C. police, by the way, have been under scrutiny over these allegations that crime numbers were altered for months, and you can find our extensive coverage on that on WJLA.com.